So this I was not expecting from Adobe. So on July 20th, they put out a release basically stating that you no longer need a model release for AI images that contains people or the likeness of people. So you can see here, this is their new statement, basically addressing the fact that you no longer need the model or property release for these AI images. There's a small caveat, however, if you're uploading images that are based off of real people, such as yourself, you will need a model release. Or if you generated an image in the likeness of somebody that's recognizable, you will also need a model release. So for example, if you put in, generate an image in the likeness of Scarlett Johansson, in that case, you will most certainly need a model release. And good luck getting one from Scarlett Johansson. But yeah, this is pretty big. I did not expect this from Adobe, considering how much time it's taken to review the images. I did not expect they would, release an update that will make it even more time consuming, because they're going to be bombarded with even more AI content, because the bar has been lowered in terms of what you need to do to get your photos on the agency, well, Adobe Stock in this instance. So I can only assume that they are making money from these AI images, right? That's the only reason they would do this. I can't imagine that they're so, in favor of artists creating content with AI that they would lower the bar so much. Or it could be that they're seeing a decline in the amount of AI images being uploaded, but I really doubt that's the case. I think it's the former more than the latter, right? I think they are benefiting from people uploading AI images, because it makes sense, right? Customers really don't care what the image is or where the image is coming from, as long as it fulfills the need they're looking for, right? If they're looking for an image of a diverse couple, frolicking through a field, laughing and having fun, and they found that image and it's AI based, but it looks good, they really don't care. They're just going to take that image. So I think Adobe is seeing a revenue boost from these AI content. Anyways, that said, let's go through the process of uploading AI images with people with these new requirements, or rather lack of requirements. All right, so here I am on Midjourney or Discord, running Midjourney. I have a few images, about 4 that I want to upload. So I've already generated them, and now I'm just going to download them. So here you can see I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm just going to click on it, open in browser, then right click, save to downloads, and I'm going to do that for all of them. Now that the images are downloaded, you can see them in my downloads folder. There they are. And I'm just going to open them in my favorite upscaling program, and that's Topaz Gigapixel AI. You can use whatever upscaling software you want. Photoshop should do a decent job. I just like Topaz because of how you can batch process it. And I just dragged them over, and I'm gonna use low res mode. There's a couple people asking why I don't use art and CGI. I find that art and CGI over sharpens the image a little, and I don't like that. It kind of introduces a little bit of artifacts, so I tend to stick with low res mode. And you can see the output resolution is going to be 3360 by 2240. If we pull out the calculator, so we have 3360 by 2240. That turns out to be 7.5 megapixels, and that's over the minimum requirement, so that's good. I'm going to hit save, and I'm going to convert it to JPEG. I don't think Adobe cares whether it's in JPEG or PNG. In fact, they don't care. But I'm just going to convert it to JPEGs. And start the output. And let's just wait for that. All right, so that is done. I'm just going to close Topaz, and you can see the output ones here. And I'm just going to delete the ones that I don't want. So in this case, the PNG versions, Command and delete. All right, I will rename these because if the name is too long, sometimes your upload will fail to Adobe Stock. So you really want to shorten your names. All right, so having renamed the images, I'm going to open them up in my, well, in this case, I'm going to use Xpix. So I'm going to use Xpix to put the keywords on the images. So I just drag them over. All right, so now that we have Xpix open, I'm just going to put in the keywords. And I used ChatGPT in this instance to create the keywords. So like here we go. So I'm just going to copy, head back, and paste. And I will do that for all of them. Alright, and just put a descriptive title, and don't forget to put in generative in the keywords, and AI and generative AI. Alright, so now that everything is keyworded, we're just going to select them all and save. Export, yep. Alright, so I could use Xpix to upload the images to Adobe Stock, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to upload them through the traditional browser way. Alright, so let's just verify that the images are indeed keyworded. So I'm going to right click, get info, and you can see that they are indeed keyworded. Alright, and then just going to select them all. We're going to go over to Adobe Stock. Alright, so once we're at Adobe Stock, we're just going to click upload. I'm going to drag them over and wait for those to load up. Alright, so once the images are loaded, I'm just going to select them all. And I'm going to come over here and say created using generative AI tools. And in this instance, we will need to click this little check mark saying people and property are indeed fictional. So we click that, and that is it. You can see we have our little green dots signifying that we are good to go in terms of submitting the content. Okay, and just make sure they all have a title, keywords, and a category. So I'm just going to replace them all with people. Okay, and once that's done, I'm gonna submit. So you'll get this little warning here saying potentially missing model releases on 3 images, or however many that shows up. And that's just because Adobe Sensei is detecting that there's people in these images, or at least things that look like people, right? Yeah, but we already checked that box saying they are indeed fictional characters, so we don't need to worry about that message there. In this case, I don't want to submit these images, so I'm just going to deselect them, and I'm going to hit submit. If we go over here, you can see that they are in my images to be reviewed. Yeah, and that's pretty much it, guys. This is pretty big for if you're really into generating AI content, and I know a lot of you guys are. Anyways, if you found this video in the least informative or entertaining somehow, please consider subscribing to the channel, liking this video, and ringing that notification bell so you don't miss a video. Alright, so until next time, have a good one.